For National Adoption Awareness Month, we've teamed up with our friends at Bonfire. At Bonfire, they do a wonderful job of making fundraising easily accessible for all of us. Whether you're a designer or prefer customizing a template, you can design shirts, hats, totes, and more to sell to your community. They even have a paid design service if you'd rather have a professional designer help bring your ideas to life. You promote your Bonfire fundraising campaign to your community, then your supporters purchase products and can even leave additional donations to your journey. Bonfire then prints and ships your products directly to your sponsors. In honor of National Adoption Awareness Month, Bonfire is offering you a special promotion. Visit bonfire.com/adoptwell to create a campaign and get an extra $1 for every item sold up to $100, because you and I both know that every dollar counts. Welcome to the Adopt Well podcast, where we discuss helpful topics for anyone touched by adoption. I'm your host, Macy Peralt, here with my co-host, friend, and fellow adoptive mama, Amy Bagwell. Today we're talking with our friend Kiana. Kiana's family brought her home from Haiti as a toddler, and today she'll be sharing so many valuable tips with us on how her family helped foster cultural connections for her and her siblings as they grew up here in the United States. We're so excited to share this conversation with you, so let's dive in.
Well, Kiana, I have really enjoyed getting to know you through Instagram, and I honestly wish you were much closer to the East Coast, but, nevertheless, here we are. At least we can talk online. But you seem like you're just full of joy and energy, and I love how much you love kids, because that is a serious gift, a talent, if you will. But anyways, outside of what we see on Instagram, and for the people who may not even know what you look like on Instagram, tell us a little bit about who you are, like where you live, what do you do for fun, do you have hobbies, favorite foods, all the who is Kiana.
Okay, so I'm from Lyndon, Washington, which is like 3 minutes from the Canadian border. There's like a Canadian border every 5 minutes.
Wow, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, so like as far north as possible. I'm a full-time college student and a nanny, and on the weekends I braid hair for other local like transracial adoption families. Most of them, actually all of them, are families that have adopted kids. So that's really fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, I love it, going to their house and just we get to have like lots of conversations and can help them out with hair because hair is a big deal.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Don't I know it?
Yes, you do. So when I'm not studying or working or braiding hair, I usually like to just hang out with my friends, and whether that's a trip to Costco or Target or catching a movie or grabbing dinner or just sitting on the couch till 1 o'clock in the morning talking and catching up. I love to do that with my people.
I also love that you love Costco. Welcome to the club. Me and Macy are Costco fans for life.
So much fun. Costco is like the best. On the other side of things, I love to dance and I love to sing and I love to like draw and write. Obviously, I write a lot. And
yes, and you need to keep doing it. You're very good at it.
Thank you so much. I play soccer. And my favorite foods are apples and Asian food.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Apples.
Super
well balanced.
Say apple is their favorite food, but that's pretty impressive.
That's my number one food. I have one every single day, sometimes two.
Oh, wow.
I love it.
If I don't have one, I'm like kind of sad. I'll be like, I didn't have an apple today. I feel a little. My absolute favorite food. I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, and what did I do? I went and cut an apple and went back to bed. So
amazing. Oh my gosh.
I love it. So basically you need to write a song about apples and then sing it while you dance.
Yeah, I really
should. At Costco.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. I'll go viral. I'm so excited.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
Well, I love it. That is so awesome.
Yeah,
I love it.
That's
I
me.
did not know you sang, by the way. So, goal for 2020, hear Kiana.
Same.
I'm just saying.
I like to sing at my house and in my car and in my room. I don't really sing in public anymore.
I gotcha. Well, it's still fun. I love it. Oh, well, thanks for telling us all of that. So, obviously, you are an adoptee. So, can you share a little bit with us just about your adoption journey and your story? And by the way, I saw recently you did a post on Instagram about how your mom had to hide you under the seat when you left the orphanage. And I was like, oh my gosh. So, maybe you can tell our listeners a little bit about that.
Okay, yeah. So when my mom came to pick me up from the orphanage, on the way out of town, they wanted to take a shortcut, or the taxi driver wanted to take a shortcut. So he took a shortcut through the city that I was born in, which is called City Soleil, which means Sun City. But it's actually, when I was born, it was the third most dangerous city in the Northern Hemisphere. So, like,
Wow.
kind of contradictory name. But the week before my mom came to get me, 3 missionaries had been killed in that neighborhood. And so that's why my mom had to put me under the seat for safety reasons, just in case they saw her and they saw me, there would be an issue. So she
Wow.
tucked me under her seat, and then they were driving through, and the city that I was born in is called a shanty town, so all the houses are really close together. And so, like, you can't pass each other on the roads. It's just you go straight, and that's your only option. So when he got to the end of the road, there was a ditch that he didn't know was there, and there was nowhere for him to turn around. So he just backed the taxi up, and he hit the gas, and he jumped the
No.
ditch.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
And I was still under the seat. There's no seatbelts because Haiti doesn't do seatbelts. And yep.
Wait,
And
so how old were you at this point?
I was like less than 2 years old.
Oh my word.
Just little. Yeah. Little enough that I fit perfectly underneath the seat
That
of this
is
taxi.
wild. And this is like your mom's like first moment as a mother, you know? And
Yes.
she's like, "Oh, what?"
Yep.
Wow.
It's my
Go
first
mom,
10 minutes
honestly.
out of the orphanage, and I'm already like doing parkour.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Her mom
Oh my
instincts have like already kicked in, you know? Like,
Yeah.
how do I protect this child?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So how old were you? Tell us a little bit about that side of your adoption story.
Yeah.
Like how old you were when your mom heard about you, anything like that.
So I was close to the age of 2, or a little bit under 2, because Haiti, being a third world country, and also like in the 90s, pre-internet documentation era, they didn't do a lot of paperwork. So my mom has like no paperwork on me. My life up till the point of entering the orphanage is like there's zero documentation of it, other than where I was found, and I was found in City Soleil, so that's where I'm from. But other than that, we have no information on like my birth family, if I have any siblings or what the circumstances were. So, yeah, my mom decided that she wanted to adopt another baby, and she told Gladys, the lady who ran our orphanage, that she wanted another baby. And she was like, "We don't have any more babies, but if one shows up, I'll let you know." And she flew back to Haiti that weekend, and then she was able to get in contact with my mom and tell her, "I got back to the orphanage and there's a baby here. Do you want her?" And my mom said, "Yes, absolutely." And
Wow.
that's how my mom got connected with me. So, yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy. Okay, so have you been back to Haiti since little 2-year-old you was hiding under the car seat?
Yes, I have. The first time I went back to Haiti, I was going into 8th grade. So I think I was 13.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've been back 4 times since then.
Oh, wow, cool. So is that something that you want to continue to do regularly?
Yeah, the last time I went was in 2015, fall of 2015. We just haven't been able to go back just because the political climate
Yeah.
has been very awful for the last like 2 years.
Yeah.
But I'm constantly like, I want to go back to Haiti. I miss Haiti. If somebody were to be like, "Oh, everything's better. Do you want to go to Haiti tomorrow?" I'd be like, "Absolutely. Let me pack my shoes." Like, it's
Yeah. And
not
my
even a,
apples.
yes, and my apples, like, for real. But that's
Oh,
like without a doubt, and zero hesitation, I would go at any opportunity.
wow. So obviously you do feel very connected to
Mm-hmm.
Haiti. So tell us a little bit about why you feel like it's important, especially for like adoptive parents, to try really hard to keep their child as connected to their heritage and their birth culture as they
Mm-hmm.
can.
I think the reason why it's most important to keep us connected, especially for those of us who have parents who are no longer living or don't have records of our biological family or things like that, we will always be missing a piece of us, but our culture is a part of us that we can take with us wherever we are in any stage of life. And so that's something that we can always have, which is why I think it's so important to like try to keep us connected to our culture and our roots, especially when we don't have other things to stay connected to.
Yeah.
Wow.
That makes
So good.
a lot of sense to me that it's like, I mean, essentially you just said all of this, but what was clicking in my brain is you don't necessarily have people that you can connect to, like
Right.
biological families that you can say, I look like these people or whatever, but you have a country
Hmm.
full of people who you do
Right.
kind of resemble, who you share some of the same history with. So it's like a little bit of familiarity. And I mean, definitely family. I mean, that's where your roots are clearly.
Right.
I haven't thought of it that way, but it makes so much sense. Do you remember, like, as a child, or I don't know if there was a certain time where this clicked or it was just kind of always there, but where you feel like you had a realization of what it meant that you were actually Haitian? Like, is that a realization maybe that you came to, or it's just been always a constant part of who you are?
It's always been like a constant part of who I am just because we did so many things that incorporated Haiti into our lives. And so, but definitely when I was 13 and I was back in Haiti for the first time was when it really clicked like, this is a part of me. This is like who I am.
Yeah.
Just because it's the first time that I'd been back and I heard the sounds and the smells and the tastes and everything like that was when it really clicked. Like, this is a huge part of me.
So did it feel familiar to you?
No, it's like it didn't really. I mean, sometimes like I'd be like, oh, like I recognize like with certain foods, I would recognize like, oh, I know this taste from somewhere. But like we didn't
Wow.
eat Haitian food growing up very often, so it wasn't. But
Hmm.
yeah,
That's cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, very interesting.
Wow. So Washington is obviously very far away from Haiti. So how have you and your family been able to maintain connections to Haiti when you're sort of like halfway across the world?
yeah, it is a long. It's a long ways away. So we growing up went to a camp called Haiti Camp, which was a camp for all kids and families who'd adopted from Haiti. So every summer we would go to Canada, and there was another camp in Minnesota that we would go to sometimes too. But and it was a week of just like hanging out with other families who've adopted from Haiti, eating Haitian food. Haitian music was like always playing in the background, and Haitian artifacts were everywhere. And if you had Haitian clothes or something, we'd wear that and stuff. So that was like our annual like huge thing that's like forever engraved in my memories in my heart, just because it was such an important piece of our summer in my life. We also had Haitian paintings hanging up in our house and Haitian song lyrics or things like that and stuff like yeah.
That's
Wow,
really
that's so awesome.
So it seems like your mom was very intentional to surround you with like your culture, which I really respect and appreciate. I feel like I wonder, I guess, but as you've gotten older, is that something that you have appreciated more or recognized, I guess? It was just normal as you were a child?
Yeah, it I definitely am so fortunate that she did that for us because I feel like had she not, then it would be like trying to familiarize myself with something that I had zero context to. But since it was always a part of my life, it just was a normal aspect of it versus it being like this
Yeah,
huge thing that I have to try to navigate.
right. So give us some specifics. What are some things that your family did to like celebrate and educate you on your Haitian heritage?
Well, I asked a lot of questions too, which made it helpful. I'd be like, oh, when we'd have the 4th of July, because my birthday is the day before the 4th of July, I would be like, does Haiti have an Independence Day? And then we'd like research it together and learn about Haiti's history. And I'd be like, well, how did people get to Haiti? And then we'd, research again, looking at books or go to the library or look things up on the internet, which was really cool because I love history. So that's kind of how I really connected to it and how we talked about it in our home was just through things like that.
That's cool. So you did like camps, research. Did you guys
Mm-hmm.
ever cook Haitian food, or is that something you still need to learn?
That is, so like, it's really hard to make Haitian food because it's really hard to find all the ingredients in
Okay.
Washington. It's like if we want to make Haitian food, which we do sometimes, we literally have to like look on Amazon and find like
Order.
the specific spice, or like find it on a website because it's
Ah.
not going to be in this little Dutch town that we live in. So,
Yeah.
Oh,
so yeah, we
I
have to
have
like
a
really
friend
plan.
who Oh my gosh. I have a friend who goes to an orphanage in Haiti a few times a year and volunteers there, and she loves Haitian mac and cheese, and she's made it for me before, and now I can't even think what's in it, but all I remember is it's amazing, and I'm like, when are you going to make me that amazing Haitian mac and cheese again?
Haitian food is so good. I remember the first meal that we had when we got to Haiti, and I was a picky eater, so I was kind of like, I'm not even hungry. I'm not gonna eat anything. But like everything that I ate was so good.
What's your favorite?
They have this one dish, and it's kind of like spaghetti, but you eat it at breakfast time.
Okay.
It's like, we call it spicy spaghetti. That's basically what it is. But it's weird eating spaghetti at breakfast. But it's like,
True.
Yeah.
I'm not a breakfast eater at all, but like I could probably eat like 5 plates of that.
Oh, sounds
Interesting.
amazing. I want some right now.
I
Yeah,
know.
and rice, of course. Like there's so many different kinds of rice that you can have in Haiti, and so
Oh
yeah, they put
my
everything in
gosh.
rice, and it's so good because I love rice so
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Same. It goes with
Ocho.
everything.
much. Everything.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, so if you were speaking to a family that was considering international adoption, what thoughts would you want to share with them?
Ooh. I would just want to tell them, like, know that when you adopt us, you also adopt our culture because that's a part of us. And so it's not
Mm,
something that we can just forget or move on, but like our culture becomes your culture because we become a family. So our parts become your parts. So, like, if it's a language thing, if it's possible, find somebody who can keep us talking so that we don't forget our languages. Or if we
Yeah.
mm.
come when we're too young and we don't, try and find a way at some point to like integrate it back into our life so we can, so when we go there, we don't just like awkwardly stand there and be like, oh yeah, I'm from here but I don't speak the language, or oh, I'm from
Right.
here but I know nothing about it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because someone would judge based off the way that you look that you belong there and should
Yeah,
understand. Yeah.
yes, like
Hmm.
when I went to Haiti and I could speak like certain things, and I've gotten way better at it now that it, like, because it kind of comes back to you. It's weird, even though I was a baby, like I could hear things and be like, oh, I know what they're saying, or I understand that.
Wow.
But people would just like come up to me like in the market and just start like talking to me, having like intense conversations, and I would just stand there like a
Oh.
like a deer in headlights, like what I've.
Yeah.
So yeah, like small talk. I could definitely do small talk. Now I'm better at it, but yeah, language is a huge thing. Um,
Wow. That really does make sense. I mean, what a great way to honor your child. I have a friend that adopted internationally from Korea, and she was telling me that she is learning Korean and teaching her child Korean. And the other day, we were really deep in conversation, and she was saying, I'm also learning this to honor his birth family. And in
Yeah.
case I
yeah,
ever have the honor of meeting them, I want to be able to talk with them.
right.
And I was like, oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah, if we ever have the opportunity to like sit down with our birth families, we don't just want to sit and stare at them. We want to be able to like tell them our hearts and tell them what we love and what we did in elementary school, and all, we want to be able to communicate with them and relate to them. And so it's important that things like language are kept a part of our lives.
Oh, definitely. For sure.
Wow. Yeah. What would you say to someone who, maybe some adoptive parents who have adopted internationally, and maybe they haven't planned a trip back to their child's home country, or, their child is desiring to visit that country? What, I know you said the first time you went was in 8th grade. Do you feel
Mm-hmm.
like that was an ideal time for you to go back, or do you have any thoughts on, I guess, returning to your home country in general, and how to even prepare for that if you are planning a trip of the sort?
Yeah, I think like 8th grade for me was a really good time just because it's a lot to process. And if
Right.
you're not in the place to be able to process something like that, then it's not the right time to go,
Right.
And so you want to take somebody who's like emotionally ready. And I don't even know if you can be emotionally ready for that because it's an emotion you've never experienced. So just every child is different. Like I probably could have gone in 6th grade and still have been fine. Whereas one of my sisters who went with us, she wasn't necessarily ready to go back. And she still now isn't ready to go back again. So it's like everybody, it's not a linear decision, you know? So
Yeah.
yeah, you kind of just have to feel it out. But definitely like be prepared, ask a lot of questions. And honestly, like when you come back, maybe even set up like a counseling session afterwards so they can go and like you can all go together and really just debrief and be open and vulnerable because it's hard to like internalize everything that you see and everything that you feel.
Yeah.
Oh, I
That's great
bet. I
advice.
can't imagine processing it all.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah. Along the same lines of creating cultural connections,
Mm-hmm.
what are your thoughts on adoptive parents providing racial mirrors for their kids, like in their own towns, in their schools, and churches and whatnot?
I would say that that's like one of the top 3 most important things when it comes to transracial adoption because when you if you are the only person in your family that looks different or the only person in your class that's different or in your school or in your church, you don't have anybody to look up to. Like when I grew up, I didn't have somebody that I could look up to and be like, "Oh, a teacher that looks like me," or a coach that looks like me, or a doctor, or a waitress. I didn't have those things. And so it kind of makes you feel limited in what you can do because you've never seen somebody that looks like you do these things.
Right.
We
That
had a
really does make
friend and
sense.
they have kids from Ghana, and we went on a trip to Seattle, and their son, we walked past an African American male, like adult, and he about stopped in his tracks and was like, could not stop staring at him. And he was like, I didn't know, I didn't know people like that existed. And we were all like, what? Like it never, like it occurred to me
Wow.
that, but I had never like thought about it if he's never, because in our town there wasn't anybody. There weren't grown adult African American men. So it was just like this huge, like, whoa moment. And I
Yeah.
feel like
Wow.
those moments aren't moments that we should have to experience, you know? And
Yeah.
so having
Absolutely.
racial mirrors is so important for us to see what we can be and what we're capable of, and also to be able to have people to talk to and people to relate to.
Yeah. Now, this isn't something that we had like talk on our outline to talk about. So
I'm
let me
ready.
know if you're ready, you're ready. If not, you're not. But I'm wondering, obviously there's a difference in like your race
Mm-hmm.
and racial mirrors, like being black in America is one thing and being Haitian is a whole nother thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So do you feel like I don't know, I guess the importance of having mirrors of people who look like you, the same skin color as you, is different than people who are actually Haitian? Does that make sense what I'm asking you,
Right,
I
yeah,
guess?
that makes sense. I think growing up, having somebody that just looked like me and had the same hair as me and had to go through the same hair struggles as me, those kind of things, other
Right,
than my sisters, of course, like
right.
it wouldn't matter if they were from Haiti or not because we could always share that together too. Like she could
Yes,
share
that
parts
makes
of
sense.
her Black history and I could share parts of my Black history.
Mm,
Yeah.
that makes sense. And
Yeah.
then having someone like getting to go to camp or something with people who are actually Haitian is
Mhm.
probably a whole nother realm of emotion, I would imagine.
Right. Yeah.
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 That's cool. I love that you have gotten to experience camp. I know we talked about that a long time ago and I'm now jumping back to it, but I know I've seen some people asking about like camp recommendations. Do you feel like camps are good? Just floating around on social media. And it
Mhm.
sounds like you had a great experience. I'm sure every camp is different, but would you
Yeah.
recommend it?
Yes. Like I would recommend them 100% because like even last summer I went to Refresh Family Camp with my cousins, and it's just being around people who just understand and get it is such a relaxing feeling. You don't have people like looking at you and going, is that your sister, is that your
Yeah.
mom,
Yeah.
and meaning it in like a weird confused way, but just like, oh, there's a lot of kids here and we're all adopted, so like, oh, is that your sister, which one's your mom? And you don't have to like awkwardly be like, yeah, that's my sister because I'm
Yeah.
adopted. It's just
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, that's my sister. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like, and even like for parents, it's like everybody understands what people are going through and what people are walking through because a lot of them have walked through it too. So it's just like a week to just be together and without having to deal with all like the awkward conversations or.
Oh, honestly, it makes total sense to me because Macy and I, we went to a retreat with just adoptive moms, and it was like amazing to me how quickly everyone just connected because you didn't have to have any disclaimers. You didn't have to have, any backstory. It was like, okay, here's how I'm feeling. What do you guys think? And
Yeah.
we dove right in because we all understood each other to one degree or another. I mean, obviously, every situation is different, but in a lot of ways, you're experiencing the same emotions, regardless of the realities that are attached to them, maybe.
Right. Yeah, we're all like, we've all experienced grief and loss, but also seen joy. And we've also hurt. We've worked through big things and we're working through big things. And so it's just like getting to be around people who all have kind of had their hand in each one of those things
Yeah.
is a pretty powerful space to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's just nothing like a shared experience to bond people together.
Right.
Even if it hasn't been the exact same. Oh, it is such a beautiful thing. So let's think here. So, Kiana,
Mhm.
I know this is kind of a loaded question, but what would you say is one of the, or you don't even have to pick one thing, but what would you say is important for parents to consider that would help them to adopt well?
I would just say be patient because adoption is, once you step into that, it's like a world that needs so much grace and compassion because it's such a complex concept. And for us kids, something to consider is that when it comes to adoption, in most situations, us kids are the only ones who didn't have a choice.
Yeah,
Yes.
So we
for sure.
feel a lot of big emotions and we feel a lot of hurts and we feel like a loss of control. And sometimes those things can come out in really hard ways to manage, but we don't mean it and we're going to struggle, but just have grace and be patient with us because we're going to need it. Like we need you guys so much, even when we push back or whatever. It's just because we're working through a lot.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Oh,
that makes me feel
so good.
things. Oof.
I know. I have so many feelings. Obviously, our kids are still pretty young.
Yeah.
Amy and I have toddlers, but
Mm-hmm.
there isn't a day that goes by where I don't think about, I wonder how things are going to go down in the future and how our conversations are going to come about and, how my son is going to process. And is he going to outwardly process with me and let me in, or is he going to maybe manifest just by making tough choices or lashing out? And I'm going to have to kind of try to look through the behavior and see that there's some hurt happening. And gosh, it's so tough, but I just want to do it the absolute best that I can and support him through it. But you're so right.
Yeah, that's great advice. Seriously. It's applicable for really any parent, but especially people in our position,
Right. Mm-hmm.
Well, is there
Yeah.
anything else that you would want to share with, I guess, the world in general that might be listening to this podcast? This is your moment. Cast your political speech.
It's time to campaign.
President
Yeah.
2020.
I guess I just want to say for like my sake, I just want to say like, one, thank you for listening and taking the time to sit and listen and learn. And also like, I can only speak for me based off of my experiences and I don't speak for all adoptees. And some people will feel the same and some people won't. And like, that's okay. So, but yeah, thank you just for taking the time to listen.
Are you kidding?
Aw,
I mean,
it was such an honor. Thank
Yeah,
you for letting us
such an
in.
honor. For real. Okay, well, you're always welcome here. We've got ears for you because, one, I like you, honestly, too. And two, I really do feel like it's helping me be a better mama.
Oh, well, thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Anytime.
Yeah.
All right.
5:30 in the morning or whenever you need me.
Oh, guys, we should tell them. So we're recording this. It was like 8:45 p.m. But what are we, a 3-hour time difference? I think.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so we were like, what do you think about 8:45 Eastern Standard Time? Whatever that would be for you. Sweet Kiana thought we were talking about AM. 5:45 in the morning. She's ready to record. So she's committed to this. She is committed to helping us all adopt well. But no, we told her we would never do that to her.
We won't. We promise.
Okay.
LOL. All right.
Well, friends, thanks for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed listening and learning. Do you follow us on Instagram? If you don't, you should. We have tons of content on there that we believe you'll find valuable. You can find us at AdoptWell and make sure you say hey when you do. We would be honored if you'd leave us an honest review before you go. You can find more helpful resources in the show notes and visit our website at www.adoptwell.com. We look forward to spending more time with you in the future as we all learn together how we can adopt well.